To continue with the previous session, I have saved the previous session job as sequential file stage, and it's job 6. Up to now, we haven't run this job. Okay, I haven't run this job. So next, before to the session, we have stopped at the reject reason column option and the reject mode. For this, I have a data set to demonstrate the reject reason column and reject mode. I have a source, one input source I want to take. So on that I just want to view the data. This is not the one and this is the one, yes. So I have here customer ID, name, phone number, work phone, work address, and it's a pipe delimiter. Pipe delimiter. How many records I have? If you ask, I may not sure because there are multiple records. So in real life, in real time, if you see, if you will have most cases Unix OS. So here to go with Unix OS, I have some flexibility within my laptop of the version that I've installed. So that is the reason I've get some Unix commands. I can execute some Unix commands here. So I want to extract the file. Sorry, not extract. I just want to view the count of the file. So how to know the count of the file in Unix means we have command called wc-l. So I want to go to that particular folder. To go to folder cd change directory, and I want to view the data of input data, and here I have some data. So the view in desktop in Windows I've shown you some other file, and in Unix I'm showing you another file, and I just want to go input data land tyco cust convenient. This is the one I just chose. Maybe this is the one. Okay, fine. I hope both are same. No problem. So I'll take this as land tyco cust convenient. So to view that command wc-l c landing underscore ty cust convert text. So total 95. So 95 means minus 1 because we have header. We have header column names. For example, I'm taking the file. Okay. So something went wrong. Just choose. Okay. So this is my column names. Customer ID, name, phone number, home phone, work address, everything. Now I will read this file. So I came to know there are 94 records. So I'm going to navigate, browse, join the data, input data, and I'm taking this path. Okay, and I see that is a pipe delimiter. So pipe delimiter, if I want to choose, I don't have that option. So there is a space here. Go to there and just give pipe. And columns, you might import your table definition using table metadata definitions, import table definition using sequential file definitions. Director, choose the director, click OK. So that is the file. Import. First one is column name. Other delimiter, there you need to specify pipe. Now the view data is properly there. And you need to define. So you see some columns here. So here, and when while discussing with table definition, I may be forgot like to tell you that if you are having any space between two characters or two words, it is going to not read. It cannot read the column name. What will happen? It automatically takes a column by its own, like field 0, field 1. So that is the way it will take the column names. Now this metadata got imported. If you see, I have input data folder code created, and this is the table definition. Click OK. So view the data, try to view the data. If you are able to view, we run the job and see. Okay, so this is what the data that I see. Close it. Okay. Now I'm going to give one data set. I'm going to run now. Result reason.ds. I'm giving result reason.ds. So already the job name is saved with a particular name, sequential file state job 6. So how many records I got? 90 records. It shows me 90 records. But here, when I see 94, the use case, the unit use case is failed because the source count and the job run count is getting mismatched. So because of this, my use case will be failed. Correct or not? I mean to say this here there are 4 records which are getting rejected in the source. I don't know. I cannot find among 94 records. I'm not sure how to identify what is the reason behind to reject these records. Sequential file directly doesn't support some of the cases like null values, date format. These are the two different issues that we have discussed earlier in the previous session. And maybe those two reasons can be, or any other reason can be the value, the date. We'll see the date values. We'll identify whether the reason behind getting those 4 records rejected maybe because of the date value. We see what is the date value we are getting. And one more thing, if the date value is mismatched, maybe all the records need to be, all the records may be rejected. YYMMDD only we have. The date format is YYMMDD format. I hope this should not fail. Because of the date value, the results may be not happen because of date format. But why? Why it is getting rejected? So for that, what we need to do, we need to take another data set to capture the rejected records. And one important point that I want to make a note here is, if you are using a sequential file stage and if you are using any other stage to capture the results which are from sequential file stage, don't use again the sequential file stage here, because which are records not handled, those only are getting rejected. And if you are making again a sequential file, there is no use. You cannot capture them here also, because the sequential file not able to handle those records only you are able to capture again into sequential file stage is a meaningless. So you need to capture in dataset, okay, or any other database. You can see, you can have any other stages, not but dataset, apart from dataset or any other stages, not but sequential file stage. Okay, what I'll do here, you need to capture the rejects means you should not put reject mode as continue, you should make it as output. I will tell you these all options, but as of now to talk about reason column and reject mode, I'm just giving you one example. You can give your name, the column name on your own. So this is the name I want to give for the rejected reason. See now, go to columns. By default, you get the one column rejected and the rejected column name. That the name I have specified in the rejected reason column option, that will be populated here, and it will view the data here with these two columns. I want to specify some path. Okay, I have some reject path even in D folder, batch 101 source. I'm not source, target, sequential file, and I'll make a new folder here. I'm sorry, not input source, batch 101 target, and I'll make sequential file digit. To target, sequential file target, and sequential file digit. So here I'll make it as widget output dot txt. Click OK. Click OK. Compile. So now 4 records should be rejected and 90 records should be moved to the target. Yes. So 4 records got rejected. View the data. What reason it may rejected? We need to see. So it will show you the 4 records. This is rejected column. In rejected column, you get the data of the column, the data which is rejected, the records which are rejected. You don't get any help from that rejected column, but you might get help from the column which we created, which we generated. Reject column name that we have generated in the sequential file stage. So what it is saying, membership expired. So that is the column, the data is getting rejected. That is a column, the columns are getting rejected. Now we have something more. Okay, so this is the total. See now, it is showing you some date value. Membership expired. What I'll try to do, I'll just open the path of the input file, and this I want to open in a notepad plus. So membership expire is which column? From last to second column. So this is your level, membership level is some value, and this would be your membership expire, means this is date value. That's what you see, the date value here. And which two records are getting rejected, we'll see. 18, this is customer ID, 18, 19, 18, 19. So go to the notepad plus and see these are the 4 records, sorry. So why it is getting rejected? If you identify here, see here, in 2012, this is February. 2012 February, do you find, we'll just go through 2012 February. You see how many days? 29 days. Do you find in February 30? Do you see 30 in February? Maybe leap year. That is a separate case. Leap year even 29 days. Correct. It's not 29, not more than that. So we don't have the values. See, data stage is how much powerful, or we can say any other word like intelligent or even. It can identify not only the date format, it's not date format issue. YYYMMDD format, it's not date issue find issue. The date value, February 30 is not present. So that is the reason it is getting rejected. So you can place this reject and see those records and give reject reason column. Based on that, you can get some help why they are getting rejected. You can identify. So this makes you some helpful to you or useful to you to debug why it is getting rejected, why these four records are getting rejected. So this is one option we need to know about the reject reason column. This option I'll just overview again. This is the not again. This is the one I need to specify. So mainly I'm talking about the reject reason column here. Reject reason column. And reject reason column, when it can be more advanceable or more useful, when you say reject mode as output. What are the three options we have? Continue. What is continue means? See, when I run first time today in this session, what happened? Because it is continue mode, what happened? It runs successfully, even though four records are getting rejected, it runs successfully. Correct or not? Because the option is continue. Means you reject those four records or any number of records, reject them. Don't capture, but run the job. Don't fail the job. So that is what continue. So it will skip those rejected records and it will populate with the records which are read and move to the next level. So if you don't want to do that and if you want to fail the job, even though one record is getting rejected, if one record is getting rejected and if you want to fail the job, you can use fail and output. So when output means you can drag an output from the sequential file stage and you can capture those rejected records into one particular output as we did now. So I hope this uh, information helps us to useful in the real time to debug the records which are rejected from a sequential file stage. And sequential file stage mainly useful for reading the data which is a delimited record. Position also here only, but delimited data is more flexible. Okay. So what are the rest of the options? First line column name, keep file partitions, missing file mode, reject mode, reject reason column, progress, and options if I select. Okay, I'll go to these options later on in the maybe next session. But now I just want to specify read method. The read method is two types, specific fields and file pattern. So up to now we have seen specific file means individually you can specify each file. So what is file pattern? That is a different case. I will talk about it. So now we'll see first a specific file as we are seeing up to now. Whatever we have seen, those are specific files. Okay. So you can read any number of files at a time. Okay. I'll just go to one topic, which is execution mode. Okay, up to now we have seen what? The rejected result column and reject mode options. So now what I want to do is null values. We can reject the data can be rejected through sequential file stage because of null values even. Because of null values, because of date format issue and date value issue and null values, date format issues, date value issues. With the date value, we can say it is inclusion tool. Okay, and we have length value issues even. For example, if you have a mobile number column, and in that mobile number you have assume that 11 digits number, then even it is going to throw the data which is coming in fruit. They may have 11 characters, 11 digits, then all it is going to be rejected. Okay, so now we'll see the execution mode of sequential file stage. Execution mode. So this execution mode by default is in sequential mode, means one record after the other record. So how many ways we can execute this sequential file stage in parallel? So I'm just choosing another file to read another file and assume that I'll give you the same file. Just, but I'm not going to read it, but just for a while I'm just making two files in a specific file. Now go to the stage page and see the execution mode. It's in parallel. Before it is in sequential. Go to the output, delete it. Now go sequential file stage. Come back. Keep file option, and just simply select the same path for once. And now see, this is your sequential file stage execution mode is in parallel. This is one method. I'm just removing it. Now sequential file path again, sequential flow execution again. Read file pattern to read specific to file pattern I'll change. Now if you see even it is a parallel mode. It is a parallel mode. So I'm not going to specify the parallel mode or specify very specific. Now the execution mode is in sequential mode. And if you put another file again, it's a parallel mode. And I want to read only one file, but I want to read it in parallel mode. How can I do that? Go to options, read from multiple nodes, make it as yes. Some options you cannot work out, but still it will change it into parallel mode. So this is another method to convert the sequential flow of sequential file stage into parallel. So one is to read multiple files. When you want to read multiple files, make sure that your table definition symbols have same metadata. Same metadata. So when you will read multiple nodes even, it changes into parallel. It changes into parallel.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So these are the two ways. One is to read multiple files, and another way read methods file pattern, and the other way go to read from multiple nodes. You make it as yes, then even you will get it in your parallel mode. Okay. So number of threads per partition. As of now, you don't require this option, but just keep a note. We'll discuss with architecture. In that case, even it is going. We are going to discuss with the node architecture in the sense like configuration file architecture and all. See here the configuration file, and we have separate topic that is heart of data stage. We'll discuss that. So default parallel. See now, it is going to change it into parallel. When you make number of readers per node as 2. By default it is 1, make it as 2, it will make it a parallel. So these are the four multiple ways that we can convert the sequential file stage from sequential mode to parallel. Okay. Now we'll this is one method, and next we are going to see these options. So first line is column name, true. Keep file partitions, make it as true. Just go through once. It is not happening because nodes are one. If you make file partitions even, no issues. So you will not get it. If you have multiple nodes, then that case it can do. Okay, we'll talk about keep file partition later when we discuss with node partitioning. Missing file mode. See, depends error. Okay. What is missing file mode? Reject mode is one case and missing file mode is another case. Reject mode means based on records. Missing file mode means the files. You can specify how many files. If you have same structure of files, you can specify any number of files. So in that case, if any file is not present in the path, in the source path, what should I do? That is the what the missing file mode concludes. So depends means if file is missed, there is a configuration file concept. That concept again comes into picture. So that is a file. It also carries the records. So you make that configuration file as one of the file. Which file is missing? Take that as file and run the job. Depends means. Error means it will fail the job. If any file is missing, the job will fail. Okay means okay and depends having some similarity. Depends means it will take configuration file and run, but okay means it will run, but it will not take any file. Okay. So the node prefix will take by depends. Okay will not take that. It will continue only with the files which are existed. Okay. Error to stop job if one file mentioned does not exist. Okay to skip it. Okay means to skip it. Skip that. Leave it. That's what we have discussed. Depends means the default is error. By default it is errors. Unless the file name has node name prefix of the configuration file .txt. In which case is it is okay. Like depends on okay will be nearby. Only the configuration file it will take. Depends. Okay. So the reject mode output fail continue. We discussed it and reject reason column. I hope we discussed with this option even. This is like sub option, like available properties to add, and we'll discuss that. Report progress. Yes means what? To enable or disable logging of the progress report at intervals. The data, how much you are carrying, how much it is getting extracted. If you want to know in the sequential file stage, we use in the directory. If you want the information, we use that report progress as S. So when you say report progress as S, I hope we have run with report progress as only. So see, this is the option. If you say report progress as no, you will not get this information. The records will not get it rejected. The sequential file information you will not get it. So that is the one which you can see and what is meant by the report progress. And options, we'll go to these options and take one of them like the file name column, filter option, number of readers per partition. These all we'll discuss in the next session. Because if I start now, it will take some time. So we'll go for in the next session with them. So this is what about your reject reason column and read method column and read method option and the execution mode of a sequential file stage. So by default, execution mode is sequential file. Okay, but how to read it in parallel? Multiple ways we have to read in multiple files with same structure and read from multiple nodes. Make it as yes, and number of readers per node. Make it as 2. In these cases also, we are going to see that number see that parallel mode execution, parallel execution. Okay, so we'll stop here for now and we will continue with the next options in the next section. Thank you very much for watching this video. Thanks for your time. Have a nice day.